Hi, my name is Bob Hill, and I'm the president of the Church of Scientology Mission of Riverdale at 308 Broadview Avenue in Toronto. We're doing Sunday service number 37 today. And today's Sunday service, well, let me just ask you a question to get it started. What can you do if you're faced with something dangerous in your life? What choices do you have when faced with a problem? We're going to take these things up today in our sermon. Now, keep in mind that Scientology is a practical religion. It teaches a person how to know. That's what the word Scientology means, knowing how to know. The sermon today is based on the writings of L. Ron Hubbard from the book Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health, Chapter 9, and it begins at page 180. Now, in this area, Ron Hubbard tells you 5 ways to deal with problems, or 5 ways that problems are dealt with by an individual. So there are 5 ways in which a human being reacts towards a source of danger. Okay? These are also the 5 courses he can take on any given problem. So a problem can act as a source of danger for a person. So maybe the problem could be, let's say a guy has a hard time at work with his boss who's constantly screaming and yelling at people, or vice versa, he feels like screaming and yelling at people. So there's 5 ways that could be said that he will handle this. The parable of the Black Panther is appropriate here. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck is a parable? Now this is a short story. A parable is a short story or writing that gives you a basic truth. All right? In this case, we're going to use the parable of the Black Panther. It's appropriate here. So let us suppose that a particularly bad-tempered Black Panther is sitting on the stairs. You got it? And that a man named Gus is sitting in the living room. Gus wants to go to bed. The bed is upstairs. But there is the Black Panther sitting at the foot of the stairs. The problem is to get upstairs. There are 5 things that Gus can do about this panther. So there's 5 ways he can tackle this problem. He can attack the Black Panther. Now, I'm going to just clear up with you what attack means, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a violent action. A problem could be you have money issues. You don't necessarily attack money issues with a baseball bat. So the word attack means to defeat an enemy. In the case of a virus like COVID-19, it would be to kill it with soap and hot water, hydrogen peroxide, ammonia, alcohol, disinfecting surfaces, using effective rules and protocols, and develop and use a vaccine. Now, with a critical or hostile person, how would you handle that? Well, would you attack them? No, you wouldn't beat them up, but you would speak with them and find out what their crimes are and expose them. So that would be a form of attack. So the first thing you can do when faced with a problem, or when faced with the panther, is you can attack the Black Panther. Now you can apply that in your life by problem comes up, attack the problem. Find the source of it, make it vanish. All right? Now the second thing you can do is you can run out of the house in the case of the Black Panther, and you can flee from the Black Panther. Now when you apply that to a problem, that means you would run away from it, and you could move to a deserted island and you could just forget about everything that's going on. That, in essence, does not solve the problem, because if you left the island and came back, the problem would still be there. So not really a good thing. The next thing he can do is, on this Black Panther, is he can use the back stairs and avoid the Black Panther. Now take that datum. Avoid means not to go near, cross the street when you see another human being, or cross the street and get away from your problem. So you don't necessarily get rid of the problem by avoiding it. You just go away from it. You go around it. In the case of the COVID virus, avoid would be people are walking down the street, you stay away from people. Now that doesn't really solve the problem of the virus. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem at all because you're just avoiding it. The next thing he can do is he can neglect the Black Panther. So old Gus there is trying to get upstairs, so he can just say, well, that Black Panther doesn't really exist. It's not really there. I'm not going to put any attention on that Black Panther. Well, what would happen if he tried to get up the stairs and just acted like the Black Panther didn't exist? He would probably get eaten. In the case of life, you have problems coming at you. You have the situation with what's going on in the environment. You can't neglect that it exists. You need to take actions to deal with it. You can't just let it go. Now the final thing you can do with this problem, or in Gus's case, trying to get upstairs, he can succumb to the Black Panther. Not wise again at all, because what's going to happen if he succumbs? Is it going to go away? That means he would yield or give up, or in the case of today's society, he would let an illness kill him, or he would let the whole worry of the problem going on in society get him so enturbulated that he would be in a state of hysteria. Oh my God, if I go outside, if I try and do anything, I can't get anything done. I just got to stay home and watch TV or watch CNN and get a headache or whatever. These things are not the correct things to do. So you do not succumb to the problem. You don't just give it all up. You actually, in the case of these 5 things, what do you think would be the best way to deal with the problem? You're right. Attack the problem. You don't let it go. You attack it. You deal with it. All right? So that's today's Sunday service. I would hope that you would not succumb. I would hope that you would attack the problem. I'm strongly recommending that you do, because if you do that, the problem will vanish. I'm now going to read to you the Creed of the Church of Scientology. We of the Church believe that all men of whatever race, color, or creed were created with equal rights. That all men have inalienable rights to their own religious practices and their performance. That all men have inalienable rights to their own lives. That all men have inalienable rights to their sanity. That all men have inalienable rights to their own defense. That all men have inalienable rights to conceive, choose, assist, or support their own organizations, churches, and governments. That all men have inalienable rights to think freely, to talk freely, to write freely their own opinions, and to counter or utter or write upon the opinions of others. That all men have inalienable rights to the creation of their own kind. That the souls of men have the rights of men. Now, that's pretty important, because remember last week we took up the fact that yes, you are a spiritual being. You are your soul. You're not your body, you're not your arm. Soul. That the souls of men have the rights of men. That the study of the mind and the healing of mentally caused ills should not be alienated from religion or condoned in non-religious fields, and that no agency less than God has the power to suspend or set aside these rights overtly or covertly. And we of the church believe that man is basically good, that he is seeking to survive, that his survival depends upon himself and upon his fellows in his attainment of brotherhood with the universe. And we of the church believe that the laws of God forbid man to destroy his own kind, to destroy the sanity of another, to destroy or enslave another's soul, to destroy or reduce the survival of one's companions or one's group. And we of the church believe that the spirit can be saved, and that the spirit alone may save or heal the body. You got it? So what are you going to do if you're faced with a problem? Are you going to run away from it? Are you going to attack it? Let's attack it, all right? And we can solve any of the problems that we're faced with. Now, you do have a choice on how to handle danger and problems in your life. It is your choice. So I'm recommending that you attack them. Try it, see if it works better, although the choice is entirely up to you. You can learn more about the mind and how it functions by reading the book Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health. I will now read for you the prayer for total freedom. May the author of the universe enable all men to reach an understanding of their spiritual nature. May awareness and understanding of life expand so that all may come to know the author of the universe, and may others also reach this understanding, which brings total freedom. At this time, we think of those whose liberty is threatened, of those who have suffered imprisonment for their beliefs, of those who are enslaved or martyred, and for all those who are brutalized, trapped, or attacked. We pray that human rights will be preserved so that all people may believe and worship freely, so that freedom will once again be seen in our land. Freedom from war and poverty and want, freedom to be, freedom to do, and freedom to have. Freedom to use and understand man's potential, a potential that is God-given and God-like, and freedom to achieve that understanding and awareness that is total freedom. May God let it be so. Thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being who you are. See you next week.